Hello and welcome to the Art Teacher Maven channel. My name is Miss Smith and I am happy that you are here today. Today we're going to be experimenting with this idea of flower pounding. And this is basically extracting colors from flowers. So extraction means to remove the color from the flowers. So to do this project, you will need flowers. Miss Smith walked around her neighborhood with a little pair of scissors and a bag, or you can just pluck flowers, and I filled up a bag with flowers. Kids are excellent at finding flowers. You're going to pretend you're on a flower hunt and hunt up as many different colors as possible. Another couple things you're going to need for this project is something to pound with, whether it's a rock or a toy hammer, like a wooden hammer. A rock is fine, or something else you could crush or pound the rocks with. Crushing or rubbing would look like this. Pounding would look like an up and down motion. You need something to pound the colors onto. We want to remove the pigment and see the color that we have removed. So something lighter, a lighter colored paper, a lighter colored paper towel, old fabric, lighter colored fabric that you no longer use or wear. You don't mind what happens to it. You have to ask a grown-up before you take something from in the house to use. Just keep that in mind. So these are some basic supplies that you will need. So take a walk around, hopefully it's springtime where you are, and pluck flowers from around to remove color. Something to pound with, somewhere to transfer the color onto. You want it to go somewhere. Black paper wouldn't really be the best because you wouldn't be able to see what you have done. You wouldn't be able to see how you've removed the color. This project is process over product. The end result doesn't really look like much. The point is to be in that creative space and to have fun while you are experimenting and just being in that creative place. So keep that in mind. You're not really trying to get somewhere to a specific destination. It's just about having fun and experimenting and noticing, using your senses to notice what is happening during this project. It doesn't have to look like anything. Abstract is fine. Art can be anything. Art can just be blobs on the paper. And that'll sort of be what the project looks like. Kind of like fireworks or tie-dye effect. So I am excited to share this with you. If you want to collect your supplies, you can pause the video now, collect your supplies and come back and do it alongside Miss Smith. Or if you'd like to watch the whole video through, you can always decide after if this is something that interests you or not. See you back in a minute. Welcome back. You have prepared your supplies, or you're going to watch and see if this is a good fit for you. We have all the flowers that I collected this morning on my morning walk. These are fresh. I picked them about an hour ago. And you can expand upon this lesson if you wish by sorting your supplies. You could sort them by color or by shape or by type. You could do it however you would like, so you can get a lay of the land to see what you have to work with, see what colors you're missing. So as you're walking around collecting your flowers, you could be searching for specific kinds of flowers like the color yellow, or if you'd like to pick up an orchid, for example, you could be walking around, or the rose, you could be picking up very specific flowers on your walk. So you're kind of going on a flower hunt instead of a bear hunt. If you're familiar with that storybook, you are hunting up different types of flowers that you could use to extract or push out the pigment. We're going to put this aside. We're going to experiment with paper towel. This is some paper towel. We're going to see how that picks up the color as a more porous surface. We're going to experiment with a little bit of fabric. This is an older pillowcase that I'm okay with having potentially have color all over it. I also have paper. This is kind of a lesser porous surface. So we're going to experiment with all three. You have something to crush or pound with, whether you have a toy hammer or if you have a smooth beach rock or other rock, something to pound with and extract the color. So let's experiment first with our piece of paper towel. Remember, this is process over product. We're not worried about the end result. We're just worried about having fun and experimenting. So let's try a pink flower first. So we'll put the flower between the two layers of the paper towel, and we're gonna get our rock and we're going to crush, crush, crush. And just notice what's happening. I wish you could smell this tray of flowers. I wish you had smell-o-vision. It smells so beautiful in my little education studio. So we're just going to crush. You can pound. It is called flower pounding. Crush, crush, crush. You can use your emotions to make this piece if you're feeling angry or frustrated. This artwork sort of looks like fireworks when it's done. So there's some pinks. Let's try another color. Let's try yellow on the paper towel. If you have a toy hammer, you could try now. This is a grown-up hammer. You would need an adult. You would need an adult to use this tool. Because it really hurts if you whack yourself with your hammer. You can try out how the yellow came out. Very nice with the yellow. Let's try some orange. This orange color. And see what happens. Just experiment. First peoples, think back to like cavemen, people who dwelled in caves. Early first people, they had to extract and remove pigment in a very similar fashion to make color. So you can appreciate a bottle of paint because it's made for you. You did not have to go and extract or remove the color. So I'm just really using my rock tool. Ooh, beautiful. So this is a little bit of abstract art. It does not have to look like something specific. We're just experimenting and exploring with tools and seeing what will happen. So that's the paper towel. I think the paper towel will be very successful, especially if you had a nicer quality paper towel to make this work. I think that would be really nice. Something you could hang up in the window for a little bit and enjoy. Let's put that to the side and try some fabric and see how this goes. I'm just gonna cut a little piece of this. I already used a corner of this pillowcase is missing. You can already see where I was repairing a pocket of a jacket and I was making a brand new pocket. So I sort of have it with an edge so you can open and close it around. Let's try some fabric and see what happens. We're just experimenting and having fun. We're not worried about it looking like something specific. So let's take the rose petals. See if we can get some color from the rose. I am noticing a pattern though, that the more delicate the flower, the easier it is to extract the color. Kitchen mallet might work well too. A little rubber mallet maybe from the workshop even. So you gotta just look around and get creative with what tools you have. Maybe the bottom of my singing bowl. So just use what you have. We don't need to have fancy things to make art and just really experiment and have fun. There we go. Let's see how that came out. Kind of lighter. So the thicker the petals, it seems like it's harder to get the color out. The thinner petal flowers like this one seem to have an easier time releasing their color. So let's see what happens with this one. You can can even start to see the color coming through the fabric. So that's pretty cool. And you could keep the fabric and make something further with it, such as a fabric bookmark, for example. A blanket for your dollhouse. What could you make with it? With the beautiful tie-dye prints. Let's see what happened. Oh, it's still on the lighter side. Let's try another one. Let's try yellow. Still lighter. Let's try an unopened flower and see what happens if we crush, crush, crush. And that has some nice color to it. Let's try some lilac. Let's try it in a different place. And again, it's just lighter color. So fabric, I would definitely go for a lighter piece of fabric if you're gonna try fabric. So far, paper towel has been the most successful material. Let's try paper. Let's see what happens with paper. Let's try a dandelion. Oh, that's pretty. A little explosion of yellow. Let's see if we can do it twice. Print it twice. Let's try the hammer tool. Nice. That works pretty well. Let's try back to the orangey colors. I'm going to remove the stem part, keep the pigment part. Not too much color there. Oh, that's nice. There we go. Let's try this one over here. Oh, nice. Very beautiful. Let's try some of these purples. It was pretty easy to find purple in this area. It was harder to find some yellow colors. Maybe you'll have better luck finding yellow. Ooh, purple is very, very successful. My goodness. Wow, let's see if we can get 2 prints out of the same one. You can see Miss Smith's art does not look like anything. It does not have to. It's all about the process. It just feels good to just push, use my body to make some art. You could even leave the pressed flower on there if you wanted to. You don't have to remove it. Let's try some more purple. Purple seems to be my most successful color. Isn't this gorgeous? I believe this is an orchid. I could be wrong, but I believe I plucked this from an orchid plant. And let's use my hammer there. Let's see. Oh, nice. Beautiful colors. So I think it depends on the material you're using. If you're using paper, if you're using fabric. Let's see, fabric was on the lighter side. Not my most successful material, but this is an experiment. And I think that paper towel would be a really nice option just to play and have fun with it and just see what kind of pigment. So this is pigment that people would use to make colors for dyes, to dye clothing colors or to make paint. So you can really appreciate just buying a container of paint because then you can skip all the steps of collecting the pigment. That's kind of a cool piece, sort of looks like eyes. So I wonder what you will create with yours and what your most successful colors will be. So just play around with it and see what happens and just be in that space of, play, just play with it. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this project inspiration as much as I did. I had a lot of fun experimenting and playing with this. You can see mine as it has started to dry, the colors have changed, but still very beautiful. Mine's not perfect. It doesn't look like everything. Some of mine were successful and some of mine were not so successful. So you have to be in that mode of it's okay and I'm just playing and trying and there's nowhere to go. There's no specific destination. It does not have to look like a car or a tree or a house. It's just experimentation and just being in that creative space and having fun. Just have fun with it. A friend of mine inspired me to do this project. She was doing it with her children, my friend Jamie, and the colors were so explosively bright. They were using things like violets and dandelions, and they had an interesting thin piece of fabric. So maybe the fabric was the key to it there. You just have to play around with it and see what happens. Use your energy. This is a very energetic project. You're using your whole body to crush or pound the flowers. So I hope that you enjoyed that and that you experiment with it and that it is successful for you and however it looks, that you just enjoyed that process. And see you next time. Bye.